And we're live. Good evening. Hello, both Joe, Tom. Good to have you on board. How are you doing? You're to blame for this anyway, Joe. The current Napoleonic thing I've got going on. I'm just testing out this building that I got from Empires at War. I built this afternoon. I've not painted it yet because I'm not painting it for a while because I want to get. I'm waiting for some plastic card roof tiles first of all, so I can actually tile the roof so it looks a lot better than the MDF that it currently is. But it's a nice little building actually. It wasn't much, about £7 or something. But I think I just put these nubs on here in the wrong place. Good mate, cheers for asking. I love being a bad influence. Yeah, it's very nice actually. It's not as basic as I thought it was going to be. I like the little dormer windows on it as well, and also the it's got a double floor, so this is going to be most likely used in sharp practice, I would say. But it also, I mean, it stretches all the way to 20th century as well, quite easily. But that's going on the back burner for now. Tonight's project, and you probably saw these anyway on the old on Twitter. These are the first 12 of the French that I've completed. Again, largely because of you, Joe, because of the Lardy magazine and the Evening Steve and the 100 days lists article that you put in there. So that's what these are for. And I'm currently working on the scenario for Hougoumont, resupplying Hougoumont. So I'll stick them there so anybody else coming in can see them. I finished those this morning. They were kind of worked on over the last few days really. I've got this bunch of them to do. This is the next 12. I broke them into, I think, 38 figures from where did they come from? From oh, come on. From Blue Moon. That was it, Blue Moon through. And then just the other day as well, I also got from these came from Museum Miniatures. You look forward to see the video. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing it actually. I've not played Sharp Practice yet, but it should be good. These are Museum Miniatures, some Voltigeurs that I got as well. So these are a pretty good. They stand pretty well with the Blue Moon. Only slightly smaller than the AB miniatures, so they'll be good. There'll be a good mix because, as we know, people aren't all the same size. I also got from Museum Miniatures as well this little cart as well, which I'm going to I'll probably try and paint that tonight. So that is the ammunition cart. I know it's not an ammunition cart, but it'll do for now. Evening, Kevin. Evening, Andy. Good to see people filtering in and saying hello. But yes, the first ones I'm going to start today is on these infantry. I've already spray painted them in, sorry, not airbrushed them in white because the French are mostly white anyway, so may as well use the primer for the main colour as well, I think. That's anything that cuts down the faff of painting, I think, is a good thing. I do like painting, but it can go on for a while. I'd like to get stuff on the table as quick as possible if I can. And that's the plan with these as well. Just get this building out of the way. And then we're just going to crack on. I assume other people are probably painting while watching this or listening to this or whatever it is they're doing on a Sunday night. I was just the wet palette. There she is. Yeah, and I've swapped the thing over as well, the sheet, because the other one had got a little bit full, and yours is homemade. I did think of making one homemade myself, but I lack the skills, so I just thought just buy one, because I'd be I know full well that I'd make a mess of it. I guess your homemade one is just in a Tupperware lid or something similar. So I've seen other people doing the same. So the first thing I'm doing with these French, I'm literally just painting their tunics. So we've got this is, I'm actually using Prussian blue for this. This is Vallejo's Prussian blue. It's quite dark, but when I come back to do the highlights, I'll wash them in Agrax. I'm going to paint the highlights in this, which is Humbrol blue. I'm not entirely sure. It's a blue I've had for a million years, at least 20 years, I think. That pot of paint. It's never gone dry. Joe says I've got 42nd KGL, 2nd Light Battalion figs sat on the desk. But I go for painting them all at once this time. Oh, you're a braver man than me. I don't think I could do that. I could probably cope with 12 maybe, and that's about it. What scale are they, Joe? 28s? 15s? These, as you can tell, are 15s. It was just a pie tin, foam, and greaseproof paper. Yeah, it is pretty simple, isn't it? Like I say, I'm sure, I'm fairly certain I would probably mess it up, so just thought I'll just buy myself one. It won't break the bank, and it's been great since I've had it. Actually, the hey Per, how you doing? Good to see you. Oh, good to see you. You're writing. And hey, Wardrobe, good to have you back with us. We're not World War II in tonight. We're Napoleonic in. That's our bag tonight. What else has everybody else been up to today? I was last night. Andy Crow over on the Discord channel, and he was showing me how to play Bag the Hun on Tabletop Simulator. I've never played it. Evening Pair again. I'd never played it before, and I noticed on the Too Fat Lardy's website that it was £20, including, I think, PDF, a little bundle of it. And when I bought the, you're not sure how long I can watch since it's not Army Green and Brown and Phil Gray. Well, I do apologise. Hello, friends of General Haig. Everybody's here tonight. It's popping. So yeah, I've never played Bag the Hun before, and I don't know if anyone saw it on Twitter. I was asking about it, but you need a hex grid to play it on, and I was thinking, well, I got the old Plastic Soldier Company Battle of Britain game, and I went in on the Kickstarter with it, and what happened was they sent out a load of bendy plastic aircraft in the first lot for the Kickstarter, and everybody complained. I didn't, but everybody else complained because the wings were bent. All you had to do was bend them back with hot water. But bless them, Plastic Soldier Company actually went out of their way, retooled everything, and then sent out hard plastic aircraft to everybody. So I basically got double sets of aircraft out of the game, and I painted them all, of course, because it's what we do, isn't it? You don't leave them in green plastic or anything. And so I've got all these Battle of Britain World War II aircraft, not really doing anything because I've hardly played the game, to be honest. I've not had a chance, and it's so I thought, well, maybe Bag the Hun would be good, but the problem is because you need a hex grid. I don't have a hex mat, and I was thinking, well, it could be a nice little cheap thing, 20 quid, and it would be another game to play. But I don't really want to shell out another 60 quid on top of it for the gaming mat, because then it suddenly stopped being a very cheap project into a very expensive one. But it works very well on tabletop simulator. Sorry, let's have a oh look, Andy. I spent the afternoon painting Japanese buildings. Yeah, I saw those, Andy. Really nice. For anything in particular, samurai stuff, I guess. They were lovely, really nice and distinctive. Tim Cater says, using my army painter wet palette tonight for the first time, really good. Took the plunge after you watching one the other night. Good, well, that's good. Good to hear. Another convert to the dark side of wet palettes. I think once you start using it, you'll wonder why you never did with one before. To be honest, they are very, very useful, especially when you're mixing paints. I just find that when I go back, even a few days later, there's enough paint still wet enough in there to just keep using it. So when you're doing a big project like these Napoleonics or something, you can just keep going back and dipping back into those colours. Really good for it. Let's have a look. You're forgiven anyway. Good times. I've taken some time away from painting for a couple of weeks. Time to get back to it. Yeah, sometimes you have to have a break, don't you? I did actually a couple of weeks ago. Made my own wet palette. That is working this time. Very good. Nice. So nice to have. Yeah. We were just talking about homemade ones earlier. I'm sure there's plenty of tutorials online to make those kind of things. You can get away without hex mat. Just need some spare hex counters. Yeah, I've had Andy said that. It's one way of doing it. He said he just kind of had to fudge the firing a little bit. But I suppose if you put a firing arc in, I guess you could probably do it. It'd be doable. So it might still be on my to buy list. We'll see. Die show. Basing my German company this evening, but we'll probably give up soon. Wet palette, brilliant for those long 6mm projects. Yeah, exactly. When you've got thousands of figures to paint. The amount of paint that I've gone through that's just dried up on my plastic palette. I could have probably bankrolled Humbro with it, to be honest. So I'm just glad to have one that helps out. Anything that helps, really. Good point, Andy. Yeah, you've been flocking your homemade Viking Saxon builds for Raven Feast. Nice. Good stuff. Always good to see Viking and Saxon things kicking off and popping away. Have a green mat with hexes on one side. Never use hex side. Well, there you go. Get yourself a copy of Bag the Hun and a bunch of 1/600 scale miniatures. I think it's only, like I say, it's currently about £20 on the Two Fat Lardies website, which is not bad for, and it's a good game as well. I mean, it's an old Lardies game, and you could tell because it's got a lot of charts in it, but it still played very well, and it was good fun as well. And not just because I managed to shoot down 3 of Andy's fighters and didn't lose a single one of my own. So that was good. Good. It's always a good introduction to a game where you win, and not just win but smash your opponent. Friends of General Haig is painting 17th century Polish hussars using my red grass green palette. Nice one. They're a wargaming staple, aren't they? Winged hussars. I've seen them around for years. Everybody has them. They're like the I don't know, the French and the Germans, aren't they, of the 1860th or whatever century they're from. A copy of Battle Mech. They're hex mats in the original box sets if you have them. No, I don't have it. A friend of mine does have Battle Mech. Whatever it's called. Yeah, Battle Mech. He has a copy of it, but we never played it because it's Chart City. Even just looking at a couple of the rules just made my eyes fall out of my head almost. But whatever floats people's boats. It's what we all used to play back in the day. And I certainly used to play it as well, or games like it, complicated games. It's crazy to think how things have moved on, really. How game mechanics have moved on. Polish are put up troops for the 17th century, yeah. Yorkshire Gamer, how do? Good to have you here, Ken. Not just say hello, say how do. It's an honour to have you here. You're listening to your podcast, and as I suggest that everybody else does as well. Some good, interesting conversations about big games, which are not dying out, of course, because there's still some stalwarts doing it, even though a lot of people are still doing skirmish stuff these days. There's still plenty of big games around, spectacular ones as well. Hey up, there we go. Hey up, Paul. Good to see you here. It's like everybody's turned up. So as I said, well, I start with WRG 7th edition. That is going back. I know Jeremy posted some pictures of it. I used to have the Wargame rules for, what is it, 1685 to 1845 or something like that. I used to have those. I don't think I ever read them as a kid, and I went back to reread them recently as a PDF. I found a free PDF online, and having out blowing kisses. Oh, we're getting saucy in here. No problem, Yorkshire Game Kevin. It's a pleasure. You've had quite a lot of downloads of that podcast, so I gather from your last one. It's good. Obviously, people are interested in it. I like it, and I think at this point as well, I could probably answer every single one of those Yorkshire Gamer questions and get 100%. The amount of times I've heard the questions. The old Battle of Britain board game with Hex and the small box game called 303 Squad. Not played for a few years now. Yeah, the I think it's the Battle of Britain one is the one that was recently updated by Plastic Soldier Company. Richard Borg did it, the guy that wrote the Command and Colours stuff, the Napoleonics and all the Memoir 44 and all that stuff. He basically rewrote it to make it move a lot slicker. What do we say? Interesting to hear Colin Ashton on Yorkshire's latest. Interesting to hear him after following his blog for so long. Yeah. That's one good thing about the internet at the moment is because people are starting to make more videos and do more podcasts and things. Actually, hearing people's voices or seeing people is very interesting. People who were just anonymous names on blogs for a long time. Yorkshire, Lancashire folk still fail. That is very true. You're amongst friends with that kind of language around here. They fail the quiz. Yes, they certainly do. Well, it's because they can't bring themselves to admit that Yorkshire's better, can they? There's always that one question. And Dancing Popland, there was plans this one year run at least one big game, create something Spanish Civil War. But obviously, it all had to be paused. But that was a Spanish Civil War big game. That'd be interesting. Messing up rules. Late to the stream. What are you painting? We're painting tonight French 15mm Napoleonics. These are the ones that I finished earlier today. First 12. So I'm just painting these up. Just starting these ones. I don't know how far I'll get tonight, but I'm just going to try to crack through as much as possible. French are relatively easy to paint, to be honest. It's basically blue and white and a few dots of other stuff. So they are pretty quick. But I'm going to have to give them a shade anyway, so they won't be finished tonight. Probably over the next couple of days, I would think. Of course, I'm joking. They're not just blue and red and white. They're other colours as well. Don't at me. Evening, everybody. Evening, Terry. We are, God, we are, it's gone mad in here. Hopefully, we'll at least have Steel Large 2022. Yes, fingers crossed. If you want any help with organising stuff, Tom, on that, please let me know. I'd be more than interested, more than happy to get involved. And it probably almost runs itself a bit after the day starts, at least. But anything else that needs doing, I'll be more than happy to jump in. Don't think 2021 is likely. Who knows what it is? Yeah, exactly. I mean, I wouldn't even contemplate it for this year, to be honest, because you'll probably just get disappointed anyway. I think once everybody's got vaccines, or those that want them has got vaccines, things will start to move a bit more, I think. And as you say, 2022 is going to probably be the more likely year. First big war game show will be amazing. We'll have name badges. Yeah, I know. I can't wait to get to one, really. It's funny because I just started doing videos of the of wargaming shows and things, just as the pandemic kind of hit, really. So I was kind of mapping out which shows I was going to go to over the next year, and then the pandemic hit. Hi, Paul. Create, yeah, I got it, don't we? Steel Lad will be even bigger than 2019. Well, yeah, these things only grow, don't they? The more and more people you get involved with them, and more people that are interested in these things. So, and it was good fun as well. The last one, really good fun. A great thing. Fiasco in Leeds is a go. Okay, is that 100%? Is it? What date is it? I do like Fiasco. I think it's quite a good show, and it's in a good location as well by the armories. Last proper winged hussar ride. Callies 1706. You think? Oh, you can't go throwing things like that around and then just saying, "I think." Be bold. Be bold, man. Grip it. We can have a big argument in the chat about whether it is or it isn't. Everybody loves a big argument. I'm just trying to think. I'm going to paint this little wagon next. I'm trying to really think what's the best paint for it, because as we all know, wood, or at least wood, isn't actually old wood isn't actually brown, is it? It's grey. So I like kind of greenish grey, really. I'm just looking at German camo beige as a base colour. Then I'll ink wash in Agrax and probably do a khaki dry brush over the top. Hammerhead is on Saturday, 31st of July. Right. 1706 Rotherham. I don't think they got all that far. There is a lot of Polish shops here, but there's not many Polish hussars, I don't think. And if anybody's not seen this before, fancy paint mixer. Mix your paints and give yourself a thrill at the same time. Honestly, it's fantastic. I'm surprised that Ken hasn't been triggered by the wet palette actually yet. Maybe he's not noticed it. There we go. That should give it a good mix, I think. The Warsaw Museum has a lovely display of the hussars, beautifully set up. Can't wait to go to a show. How useful were they in real life? I guess is the big question, isn't it? Or was it all just for show? Who knows? You love Polish shops. I was being polite. Yeah, of course you were. You're probably triggered, probably raging, and kicked a bucket over or something. You love Polish shops. One's open near work. It's a lovely place indeed. Yeah, I do. I think they're great. There's good beers, if nothing else. just at the bottom of our road, a Turkish dessert shop has just opened, and which is very dangerous because it's literally a 2-minute walk from the house. And I'd not noticed it till I went past it the other day. They help save keep Vienna. Well, Vienna. It means nothing to me. I keep all my paints on top of the washing machine and they get mixed every day. That's a cheap way of doing it. I only wash every 2 weeks, so it wouldn't work for me, that. So yeah, so I got this little wagon. This is part of the. I got this from Museum Miniatures as part of their basic 19th century range, and I'm going to use it. I know it's not an ammunition wagon, but I'm going to use it in Joe's scenario for resupplying Hougamon. He needs a wagon in that for sharp practice. So that's going to be the first game of sharp practice I play when I do finally get around to playing it, which will be almost as soon as I finish painting these French, which I'm guessing will probably then be a couple of weeks, I would have thought. Painting Italian Wars, Gendarme, nearest wet pallet to me is 40 miles away, Rotherham. Maybe we should make an app that shows where all the wet pallets are, and then and you could track them, you could stay away from them. It'd change your life, Ken, but honestly, you'll never have to remix paint again. What size are the French? Tiny like Napoleonic? Yes, they are. They're 15 mil. Not teeny tiny, but they are tiny. Yeah, these are 15 mil, but because they're Blue Moon, they're kind of erring on the side of 18 mil. So the bigger side of 15 mil. They wouldn't. I don't think they'd match very well with anything by Peter Pig. Not that they only do one set of Napoleonics anyway, which is, I think, Imperial Guard surrendering. But they work. They seem to work pretty well with the Blue Moon. Work with museum miniatures, and I haven't got them nearby, but they work also pretty well with, what do you call them? Keep forgetting the name. It'll come to me. It's been a long day. I woke up early this morning. The same as AB miniatures, the ones from Australia. Lovely to see 15 mil getting some attention. Remember when 15 were the future and 25 mil were heading away the dodo? How times have changed. Okay. I'll stop jibing you about the wet palette. Okay. AB, yes, AB Miniatures. They're an Australian company, but Eureka sell them here in the UK, and they are absolutely beautiful. Honestly, they're works of art. Never seen so much detail on a 15 mil figure. They really are cracking figures. It's worthwhile just buying a couple of them just to have to paint. For the Brunswick Challenge earlier this year, last year, I did some AB miniatures. Did the Duke of Brunswick and his pals when everybody was painting Brunswicks last year, and they were lovely. I've had my eye on them for years. When I first got Blucher, however you say it, my first plan was to do it in 15 mil, because I always wanted to do it in 15 mil. And I got some of the AB miniatures from Eureka then to do, but I looked at them and I realised, how nice they were, and how long it was going to take me to paint the 100 Days campaign for Blucher in 15 mil. And went to 6 mil instead, and then here we are, 7,000 6 mil figures later. I'm back at 15 mil. What can you do? But I thought if I was going to do 15 mil, because everything else I've got is in 15 mil, all the scenery and things, it just makes sense just to keep doing stuff in 15 mil as far as I'm concerned. I've got some things. I've got the Star Wars stuff, but I mean that's nominally 32mm. But I've also got Judge Dredd stuff as well. But that's 28mm, and I've got second edition Blood Bowl stuff, which is the original 28mm. What else are we saying? Yeah, everything used to be 15mm. I never thought I could paint that small. Now I do 10mm Confederate and 6mm Vietnam. Vietnam is 6mm. That'd be interesting. You're going to have to get some more of those Brunswicks. I have a mini campaign in mind based around Quatre Bar. Oh, I'd be more than happy to be painting more Brunswicks. They're easy. Black. All right, don't at me. I know they're not just black. Brunswickers, to lose one duke is unfortunate, but too careless, yeah. Could be. I know Tony Barton, and after giving him a lift home one day, he kindly showed me how he sculpted his figures back of an old saucer and used a piece of hammered brass as a tool. Okay. Is that the guy that does the AB miniatures? Tony Barton, is it? Because if it is, the man is an absolute artist. I mean, they're so nice. They paint themselves. They really do. It's amazing. Because the detail is so good. But these ones are Blue Moon. I think these are American. I got them through. Where did I get these from? Old Glory UK. Yeah, these, I think Blue Moon are an American company. Yes, it was. Okay. Well, if you do see next time you see him, tell him that I think his figures are fantastic. I'm sure I'm not the only one that said that to him, but can't hurt to hear it again. So yeah, I'm only doing these French in 12s really. I've got another 20 of them down there to do, but I do also have quite a few more on the way as well because I've got some more from AB Miniatures from Eureka, but I'm just waiting on them. Obviously, because of COVID, everything's slowed down a little. But it was a couple of weeks ago, so I just sent them an email this weekend just asking if there was an update on the order. Not being nasty or anything, just wondering if they knew anything. That's all. It never hurts. What else we got on blue? Some of old minifigs Brunswicks, part painted in 15mm. Your Brunswick should be finished off, just black. Dead easy. And what are you saying there, Tom? Other partisan seems to be on the 10, 10, 21. Yeah, I know there was talk about it. Fingers crossed these ones later in the year will go ahead. Like Fiasco and things. Have you been to Fiasco, Tom? Can't remember if you were there when I was last there. I think the last time I was there, I saw Ken's Jutland game. Now that was a big game. Fiasco is great. It is, isn't it? Also, don't mind having slight mixing for manufacturers 50mm, like the uniforms and men's highs. Yeah, I'm the same. I think the only problem with that though is you get different sized guns, don't you? But if you don't put them in the same unit, it's not so bad. It's but yeah, people are all different kinds of heights, but it's just nice to mix units up, especially Napoleonic ones. I do like the look of they're all marching like the old Peter Hilton figures, but I like non-uniformity as well. Fiasco, usually end of October. Big logjam of shows that month with salutes moving. Yeah. Yes. Everybody. Problem is, in the first 2 weeks of that month, everybody's going to be spent up, aren't they? They'll just be going crazy. I've only ever been down to Salute once, That was when Ian got me free tickets as a press person. So me and my mates, we jumped on a really early train from Sheffield and got down there. And my mate Dean was so excited about going that he'd eaten his lunch by about 8:30 in the morning. Oh, bless him. What else we got here? I believe the original sculptor, Old Glory 15, sadly passed away. And these Blue Moon 1518 are by a different sculptor. Ah, right, okay. Really like the original Old Glory bags. Lots of animation characters. Yeah. Fiasco is good. I just wish they would turn the lights on. It's always dingy. Well, there's probably only so much they can do with the lights, really, isn't there? I guess they're fixed in place. I often take my children. They have a great time. They played the Arnhem 44, All Hell Let Loose, and apparently were the most successful all day, killing off Germans. Are you sure you're proud or concerned? Yeah, a bit of a fine line there, I think. Yeah, secretly proud, but just keep a watch as well. Yorkshire gave a lights down to owners. Yeah, I tried for years to get the armories to turn them up. Yeah, I can imagine. Why do they say? What's the reason for keeping them low? It keeps our electricity costs low. They also played the Brexit version of Irregulars Riot game. They got a bit bored of the actual game of fed Bojo to an alligator. Good. A little bit of politics there, ladies and gentlemen. Was that the Arnhem game? Was that the one that I saw you playing at Van Attack, Tom? The one that was taken from the aerial photos of Arnhem itself. He went to Fiasco some years back, found £20 on the floor. One of the best shows I went to that year. Yay! Net winner. Good stuff. Ah, yes. Yeah, if you can come away with a show 20 quid up, then God, you're doing well. You're doing better than me. I usually have a list though when I go to a show of things that I do want to buy. If I want, if there's stuff I'm interested in buying, if I'm working on a particular project or something, or usually paints these days. It's a nighttime venue, so they don't have big lights, and they are Yorkshire photos and Titans. By the way, that was my 20. Link to Followers is a great setup. Yeah, I got some footage of it when I was there. I'm not sure what you mean, Ken. You're 20. Oh, yeah, I get it. No, I get it now. Duh, took me a second. I think you'll have a fight on your hands. It was probably mine, to be honest. Thinking back, yeah, I definitely dropped it. I'll have to check that out in a bit, Tom. My computer's in a bit of a weird position on the painting desk. So I don't want to reach across because I'll knock everything over. And then the wet pallets will go everywhere and there'll be paint everywhere. Wet paint for days. They bought you a meal and a pint. Surprised, probably would have bought you quite a few pints in Leeds. I suppose it depends on what pub you go to. You go to a Sam Smith's pub, you probably get about 20 pints out of it. Yeah, that Arnhem setup was fantastic. It looked really good. He showed me the aerial shots when I saw you and is it Simon playing the game at Vamp Attack. Yeah, he was showing me what the how it looked in 44 and also his board, and the two matched up perfectly. Really good. A Yorkshireman would never draw £20. Well, that's true. A Yorkshireman probably wouldn't even have £20, to be honest. They do say copper wire was invented by two Yorkshiremen fighting over a penny. The designer took actual aerial photos of Arnhem and they recreated it in 2mm. He used 6mm minis for the game, I think. Oh, it was a 6mm game on 2mm scenery. That's kind of how I do Volusia. I get to the 2mm buildings because they match better to the ground scale, but the 6mm figures look better. So yeah, these. Has anybody been doing any solo gaming or anything today? I was playing Arkham Horror earlier this morning, finishing off a campaign and going mad for it as well at the edge of the universe, fighting Yog-Sothoth. Well, not really fighting him, just getting destroyed by him, really. That was good fun. Love Arnhem. Went there on 75th Sorrel celebrations. Lee and I spent a week following Major and Mrs. Holt's guidebook. Yeah, those Holt's guidebooks are very good. I've got a couple of them for the Somme and for Ypres. I don't know what the Arnhem was. I've never been to Arnhem. Place I do mean to go to. I just never been. Never had the chance. Arkham Horror is a brilliant game. Do you play, Tom? I didn't know you were a player. Had a Zoom game this afternoon. Excellent. Powick Bridge, 1642. Where's Powick? Is that somewhere up in Northumberland or something? Sounds like it. I bet it's not. It's probably like Poland or something, isn't it? Or is it English Civil War, 1642? My knowledge of history, literally pre about 1805, is practically non-existent. You got the board game from 10 years ago, the Arkham Horror 3rd edition. Yeah, it's great. I'm talking about the card game, the living card game. But the board game is fantastic as well. Really good fun. Did you get the new expansion, the Innsmouth expansion that came out? A mile down the road from you, Powick, outside Worcester. Okay. I used to work in Worcester. Did a excavation down by the river. It's a Severn, isn't it? I think that goes through Worcester. And I met Jeremy Bullock, the actor who played Boba Fett originally. He was doing a signing at the local comic shop, so I went to go and get a Boba Fett comic signed for my mate for his birthday. And I was the only one in there, apart from the staff. Poor fellow looked a bit bored. I have a few of the expansions for the board game. Don't have the LCG yet. LCG is great, but it is incredibly expensive. But it's really good. The board game is great, but I think the LCG ups the level massively. It's like role playing without having to set up characters or read a big rule book and things. Really good. Right. Flesh next. That's my next task. Get my tan yellow out. Yeah, there was the new expansion for it, which was the one that's set in Innsmouth. It's got extra map tiles in Innsmouth city itself. Hey, Ian's here. How you doing? Just been having your tea and about to start basing some 6mm Napoleonics. Excellent. Getting good representation of the 6mm in here tonight. That's always good to see. What are we having for your tea, Ian? I had chips and sausage, and it was scrumptious. And white bread, because it's the weekend. Right, you're off to cut out cards for Paul Pally. You can still cut cards out and listen to us, Tom. You don't have to. You don't have to leave. I'll still be sitting here rattling on for the next hour or so, I would think. Well, actually, it's been 45 minutes already. God, time flies when you're talking rubbish. Yeah, I definitely don't think I'm going to get these. See you later, Tom. You've had chips and sausage as well. Brilliant. That's a proper Sunday night tea. Don't tell my wife though. I don't think she'd like me having sausages. But what she doesn't know. Well, the Napoleonics you're painting, Ian, the 6mm ones. Austrians, Prussians. Right. Oh, there's 22 people on, 23 people watching. If you're there, say hello. Let us know you're here. 20 Yorkshire Gamer, 6mm. Is that the same as 28mm figure that's far away? That's right. Father Ted, these cows are far away. These cows are 6mm. A Sunday roast, just setting down to cheese and crackers. That's another Sunday evening tradition right there, isn't it? Cheese and crackers on a Sunday night. Whereas I'm painting 50mm figures. I haven't had a Sunday roast for years. Can't remember the last time I had one. I probably should change that at some point. Problem is, afterwards, you always want to fall asleep. Hanseatic League, part of my Volmoden's Core 1813 project. Nice. Are you on the port, Andy? Got to have port with cheese and crackers. Very true. Do it in style. Kevin, you had steak with jacket and veg. Very posh. Thinking of opening a bottle of Polish beer now. Was that all the talk of the Polish shops earlier? And Mr. Volvo Bloke still listening, just doing some sign writing. Good stuff. Good stuff indeed. He should be painting on his waistline. That's a good point. Where else we got? Steve, cheese and crackers. That's what I had, followed by homemade pear crumble with double cream. My wife hijacked my chat. Good stuff. Good to hear. Didn't realise I was being broadcast while everybody's having the cheese and crackers. That's good. And crumble as well. God, everybody's living the high life, aren't they? High living. Wargamers, high living. Paul, you said you were playing via Zoom. Is that right? Was that on somebody? Was that like the virtual LARD where it was on somebody had set the table up and things, or was it on something like Tabletop Simulator? And took Max to Westenham to look at the statue of General James Wolfe, hero of Quebec today. Had a coffee and drove back. High life of lockdown. Yeah, exactly. I had the cold pizza the kids left from last night's tea. Waste not, want not. One of the best things in life is cold pizza. Always good. Again, probably shouldn't have too many pizzas. Your mate runs a game every week. Okay. Again, is it via Zoom here? I was impressed by the gentleman wargamers in their uniforms of white. Yeah. Ah, chain of command. Good man. Good man. I'm now on the Applejack Daniels while listening and painting. Happy days. Good stuff. This is what you should be doing on a Sunday night. It's the best thing for it. How do you find the Zoom gaming, Paul? What I've done of it, I've really enjoyed it. I say I was playing Tabletop Simulator last night. That was a different way of playing. I always found Tabletop Simulator just slightly, it's just not tactile though. You just have to kind of get over that bit really. And it seems to work better, I think, for board games or games with specific areas like hexes, rather than your traditional war game where you can pretty much move anywhere on the board. It was a good game last night, good fun. And I thought it was only going to last a couple of hours, ended up playing for 4 hours. But it was a learning game. Have you managed to get your painting mojo back yet, Paul? Have you cracked on with those? What was it? The Argentinians you were painting, or you were talking about painting. We want to see them done. Right, that's all the flesh done on those. That's pretty good. Certainly picking away at these at least, which is good. Oh, I was going to do some more work on that car, but I don't think I'll get to do it tonight. So I'm going to try to break the back of these. No, 1813 or something, Argentinians, or 1816 or something. Way before the Falklands. As you know, you're off tomorrow, so you may do some painting then. If anyone hears any swearing in the next few minutes, it's me putting a flag on. There you go, 1817. Yeah, 6mm flags. Absolute horror. The horror of it all. Right, I'm going to do their knapsacks and their bases. That's my next thing. Coming up on an hour. I think I managed to get quite a lot done, at least in this hour, so that's good. I'm not sure how long tonight's chat will go on for. What time are we on? Oh, it's only 8:20. Crack on for a bit. I'm not doing anything else. It seems that everybody else is painting. I'm going to keep jumping in. Flags on 6mm, great funny in. Love doing it, and cursing is fun too. I found using tweezers was my only hope when I was putting the French tricolores on for the Blucher stuff. The only way I could do it was using a pair of tweezers and folding stuff around a knife blade. Eating is definitely fun. It's taken me since you came online to paint the flesh on these. I've still got 12 to go. Speed up, man. Don't worry, it's not a race, but I'm winning. No, it's not really a race. Do it in your own time. As long as I get painted at some point, doesn't matter, does it? I think there's talk of apples and pears. I'll go for a Scrumpy Jack. Played an ECW game once with Scrumpy as refreshment. Yeah, it's probably about right, isn't it, really? There were a lot of cider drinkers in the old English Civil War. What I'm probably not going to do tonight is all the details like the red and even the, well, I don't know. No, because I did that yesterday on the other ones, and it nearly sent me blind just doing the collars and cuffs on them. So I don't really want to do that late at night. That'll be a job for tomorrow when I've finished work. Tweezers, soaked flag with PVA and a little bit of super glue on the flagpole. That's a good idea. Yeah, I just found using PVA was good enough, but super glue would also work because at least it'd hold it in place. Because sometimes the PVA wasn't good enough to hold onto the metal flagpole. But certainly tweezers were the only way that I could do it. You can always tell a good scrumpy. You can't stop smiling after a pint. you lose your legs after a five. Yeah, and your bowels. That's why I don't drink it. I've never been that bothered. But I used to drink cider loads when I was a kid. Well, it'd be teens because I didn't really like the taste of lagers and stuff. But I'm a bitter man now. I'm very bitter. So I just interrupted while I text my wife. We play when we play face to face. We usually cook tea for those playing. We try and theme it. Charlie don't serve Vietnamese curry or burgers and fries. Nice. Same for Perry. Five, yeah, three. Yeah, I probably wouldn't even do two to be honest, especially if it's the strong stuff. I've hardly drunk a thing during lockdown. I could probably count on one hand the amount of alcoholic drinks I've had in the last year. Just haven't really bothered. Just like I like my weekends. I don't like having hangovers anymore because I can't cope with them. It used to be all right when you were younger. You bleed through anything, but not now. Right, well, that's their knapsacks done. So now I'm going to do the bases. Just on the flag, and yes, super glue on the pole was used. You were quick. Was there much swearing? I do hope not. Sometimes you just got to give up and walk away if it's giving you too much jib. Off for a bottle of cider and game of Uno with the family. Good for you. Hope you win. Enjoy your cider in your game. Cheers. Thanks for popping in and saying hello. And we'll see you next time. There's my big base brush. Yorkshire Gamer fish and chips for lunch at Yorkshire Gamer on Sunday game. Can't wait for live games to start again. Yeah. Some swearing from Ian over here. After football, one of the lads brought a case of cider cans. We stood about drinking them. Everyone said, right, maybe the teenager. Yeah, I can imagine. You've cut down. Think about joining Little Wars TV just for a drink of that funny stuff, whiskey. They do like their whiskey over there. They've got a brilliant setup, Little Wars. That clubhouse they've got. It's fantastic. Very jealous. Will anybody be watching their Caesar Awards? That's in a couple of weeks, isn't it? Actually, 10 days, I think. I know I was nominated, but whether I'll win or not is a different matter. Just happy to have been nominated, really. A big surprise. So here, for those who may be interested, I'm just painting. This is just flat earth, Vallejo's flat earth, which is the funniest named paint I think that there is out there. So I'm just painting the bases. They'll get ink washed, but they're going to get they'll get covered in flock anyway later on, like the other ones. So these you probably don't ever see it, but when you're doing flock and things, I find that brown is a better colour for a base than green. The green just looks weird underneath green. It was the lag from last time you were flying. Kevin, yeah, should be. And hopefully well, I'm sure they'll mention everybody who was nominated. But yeah, it's interesting when they brought out the video for the nominations a couple of weeks ago. My subscriber has went through the roof, so that was good. Obviously, everyone came over to check out and check me out. Works for me. I thought I heard you, Ian, but it must have just been the usual Sunday night sounds from Forest Row. Yeah, I'm sure I could hear some screaming. I thought I heard some screaming in the distance. But that's Sunday night in Rotherham, I think. Have I got an open invite to Little Wars HQ after doing the voiceover for them? You deserve to be nominated, mate. Fingers crossed for you winning. Cheers, Ian. Thanks a million. Like I said, I don't really mind if I'd like to win, obviously, but if I don't, I'm just chuffed that I got into the top 5. Cheers, Bear. Thank you. Keeping your fingers crossed too. Have you got an open invite? No, I haven't. That came out of nowhere as well. That voiceover. They just approached me. Greg just sent me a message just on Facebook. He uses a nom de guerre. I can't remember. It's just one of the American Civil War generals, unsurprisingly. But he just sent me a message on there, just saying. I was asking if I do the voiceover for them. It was an honour to be asked. Actually, it was very nice and dead easy to do as well because they sent me the script. So all I did was literally read it out, and then they chopped it up and edited it all into the video. So I literally spent, I think I did a couple of takes on it, and that was about it really. And then just cleaned up the audio file for them. So I took out all my heavy breathing and swearing when I fluffed up a line. But yeah, it was nice to be asked. I'm hoping they'll interview me at some point. That's what I keep hoping. For their Little Wars FM podcast. Little Legions, evening all. Good to have you on board. Another one here. Cheers, Ken. I will do it for Yorkshire. Don't you worry. If they do interview me, I'll talk a lot about Yorkshire. Like I say, I'll be dead chuffed if I win. If I don't, I don't care really. I'm just happy to have been nominated. It's nice to get some recognition, really, or at least to know other people are watching the channel and the rubbish I put out. I've got to apologise to you, Ken. Actually, here I'm using a Newton and Windsor paintbrush. I do apologise. I'm letting the side down. I should get some of those ones that you're always talking about, the Yorkshire ones. The only other ones I've got, I think, are Revel ones. Well, of course, we should have a Yorkshire meetup. Yeah, we should do when we're allowed to meet up. Whereabouts in Yorkshire are you from, Little Legions? Ian Fuller, you and Lord Raglan could become Patrick Stewart and Richard Burton of Wargaming output. Indeed. And Yorkshire Gamer, did you know that you'd been nominated before the video came out? How many of us are actually from Yorkshire? Well, I am. Did I know? Yes, actually. Well, I knew I'd been nominated for something because Greg sent me a message again on Facebook as he's nommed and said, he basically said they needed a logo that was a certain size because they needed it for the video for nominations, but he didn't say what I was nominated for. Bedale, North Yorkshire, up near Catterick, where I work. They didn't say exactly what I was nominated for. And it was basically, so I just thought, I'll probably just been nominated in one of the other categories. And then, yeah, it was a massive surprise to see that I've been not only nominated in that painting category, which I didn't even think that was madness. I'm not the best painter out there, and there's much better painting videos than mine, and much better painters than me. But that got nominated, the 15-minute painting challenge, and then also being nominated as the fan favourite as well. It was like, bloody hell. As I'm a patron as well, I could actually see the voting going on for the other nominations, because the fan favourite was voted by the public and then will be judged by the panel, I think. But the other ones were voted by Patreons of Little Wars, so you could actually see who was winning on those. I can't remember exactly who had won all of them, but I saw that I'd slipped off the. I was in number one spot, but I think by the time the voting had finished, I'd gone out to number two for the painting video. But I think I was up against Tabletop Minions, and he's got something like, I don't know, about 328,000 subscribers or something. So there's no wonder I was not going to win that one. Like I say, to be up against people like that. Middlesbrough, yeah, that's just in Yorkshire. You're my mate, Bob. Yeah. We're on the list. Sean, I think you mean, from God's Own Scale. I don't know if he's listening at the moment. Little Legions. Actually, I live in Catterick Village now. Just left the Yorkshire Regiment. Yorkshire. After 25 years, finally year 3. My dad was at Catterick Airfield during the war. Excellent. One of my first jobs in my current role as the archaeologist of the MOD, or one of them, was to clear the fighter pens at Marne Barracks, which is Catterick Barracks Airfield, the Spitfire fighter pens, because they're scheduled monuments. So one of the first things we did at Christmas, just before Christmas, was go and clear scrub off them. Grandad Tom was a Yorkshireman. Does that count? Yeah, I think that counts. We'll let you in. You won't get a passport though, but we'll let you in. That was a great day. It was like I couldn't believe what I was doing. It was good stuff, that. North Yorkshire on my birth certificate. Yeah, mine's South Yorkshire. Rotherham born and bred. Strong in arm, thick in head. That's what they say of us. I have lived elsewhere, but for some reason I managed to circle back to Rotherham. I didn't even plan to either. It's just like a vortex, a whirling vortex that drags all back into it. Like Royston Vasey, you'll never leave. My mum's from Rotherham. Excellent. Whereabouts in Rotherham? Do you know the village or the part of the town that she's from? I was originally born in Whiston, which, if you're from around this, Broome. Yeah. My medical clinic is a Broom Lane clinic. I know Broom. In fact, I live literally a 10-minute walk away from Broom now. Broom Road, yeah. I'm starting to feel like a dirty southerner now. Yeah, this is Yorkshire only up here, Joe. If you're not from round here, you're not welcome. Especially after you started me off on this 50mm Napoleonic project. I'd rather keep me Cumbria once, though. Yeah. I think I might have to ban you, Ian. I can see this video getting lots of dislikes. Right, so now I'm doing the pomp bombs. And these I'm doing in green because this is going to be the first company. So yeah, I'm breaking the back of these French at least, which is nice. A few blokes from my end raised a few yours and hold Jorvik. Does that count? Yeah, huts. I got you. Yeah, huts, not juts. Not the jutes. No, the Vikings. Yeah, that counts. I went to Jorvik when it first opened back in the mid-80s. We stood in queue. I went with me family. We stood in a queue for about 2 hours to get in. It was crazy. Everybody in the country wanted to go. It was such a big thing. Still a big money spinner now for the York Archaeological Trust, who own it. I went to it recently. I wasn't so keen on it because they changed it all. It was more like the emphasis was more on the ride rather than any of the finds and stuff. I'd have preferred to see a lot more of the finds that they had from the site, but that's not what people want. Does that mean you have to go then, since it's only Yorkshire, man? Yeah, it's turned into the Yorkshire thread tonight. I don't know how. If there's anybody else not from Yorkshire, do step forward. There are 22 of you watching, so some of you must not be from Yorkshire. I'm a northern man trapped in a southern man's body. I don't doubt it. I think everybody's a northern person trapped in something that isn't northern body. I technically live in Cleveland, but Yorkshire is a relatively modern term. Yeah, that's true. Cleveland is what the Vikings called the area. Lots of cliffs. Is that where it comes from, Cleveland, is it? Oh, every day is a school day. Billericay, Essex. That's almost as far south as you can get, I think, isn't it, without getting your feet wet? No, that's Kent, really. I've not really been to Essex that often. Only a couple of times, I think. I suppose I've never really had much need to go. It's usually on the way somewhere else. Londoner, married to a Yorkshire lass. Good. See, we're everywhere. You can't get away from us. The Yorkshire disease spreading like thick butter on white bread. Okay, we're on with that. Right, next up is their knapsack, their blanket rolls. That's my next thing. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave the smaller bits till later. I'm just gonna paint these blanket rolls for now. Who else we got in here? West Country boy, born and bred Bristolian, and then southeast of Chelmsford. I was once described as a Scotsman without a brain. Billericay is north for me. If it's the other side of the Thames, it's north. That is south. Very south. For some reason, Joe, I thought you lived in Ireland. don't know why I got that impression. I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe something you said on Twitter. I hope everybody's getting some good painting done anyway. Hoping to have as many of these done as possible soon enough. East Sussex. I've got some mates down in West Sussex. I live near Brighton. I don't think I've actually ever been to East Sussex. Been across the South Downs. That's close to you, isn't it? That West Sussex, though. We've got nobody from across the pond in tonight, though. Unless some of the lurkers are from America. Who knows? Maybe it's a bit early for them. Or late. Essex is God's second own county after Cumbria, born and bred in Essex. Get out, Ian. Get out. You're banned. We're not having you coming around here with that crap coming out of your mouth. Yorkshire is God's own county. And everyone knows that. Brighton's only 40 minutes from you. Yeah, the Indian Memorial up on the South Downs is fantastic, isn't it? You're looking at unpainted late Romans and feel sorry for yourself. Well, just do bits of them. That's what I always do. Don't look at them as a whole. Just get, I don't know, 5 or 10. Just do them. That's an achievement in itself. It's the easiest way to deal with big piles of stuff, I find. Soldatic. Here we go. Here's one. I'm from over the pond. Good stuff. Good to have you here. Whereabouts and what time is it? Some 30-year-old minifigs, War of 1812 US infantry. Nice. I think the only minifigs I've ever bought were probably about 30 years ago, and I got a load of their First World War figures, British and Germans. But I had no idea about how squads were made up at that time or anything, so I just got a bunch of them. I think I got them at triples. That's how long ago that was. God knows what happened to them. I think they disappeared long time ago. There's somebody else's collection. As long as someone else is having fun with them, that's the main thing. But I had a trench board that my dad helped make me out of papier mâché, and it had shell craters and everything all over it. It was great, but at the time I didn't know anything about the First World War. Just the other side of Greasborough Dam. Is that you, Lee? Nice to have you with us, Lee. At least I know what your name is now on YouTube. Oh, you're painting, Lee? Are you not having? Is it bath night tonight? Been looking at the CWGC graves and the local cemeteries recently. A lot of interesting memorials around here. Yeah, I'm sure there is, because there was a lot of hospitals when they're down that end, because obviously it's the closest area to France in the UK, so you have a lot of hospital stations down there. And you had the India Brighton Pavilion. I was just going to say, was the hospital. Lots of Indians coalesced, succumbed to their wounds in Brighton. And as far as I'm aware, they put them in the Brighton Pavilion because it has that Eastern look to it, doesn't it? It looks like with the domes and it was thought that the men would feel at home if they were in that kind of place. 7-Year War Russians in 28mm. Wargaming Butterfly Lee. I have around 1,500 Napoleonic 25mm minifigs. My first metal armies from 45 years ago. Most were 7p a figure. God, imagine how many we'd have if they were still that price. Well, nowadays, I worked it out, 15mm figures are about 15 pence each. Your hotel was a Belgian officer's convalescence home during the First World War. Wow, that's interesting. You managed to get much information on it, Joe? Is it, or is there much information on it? I guess is the other question. Just cutting in around these chaps here on their pom-poms now. Just going to do those. Just where I've missed bits. I got these in campaign dress so that their shakos are tucked up, so I don't have to paint any of the gold badges, the bronze badges on the front of any of them. So I'm clever like that. Cut down my amount of painting. Right. I'm going to leave them for now. I say simply because we're onto the small bits, the red on the collars and the cuffs, and the browns of the muskets. But I also want to do with I want to do their hair as well in brown. So they're small bits. And as it's getting 9 o'clock now, I'm going to. I don't want to do stuff that's too detailed, so I'll finish those off tomorrow, I think. Back with you all. Had to do the chores. Good. Keep the other half happy. That's half the battle. Not so much about that specifically. Siegfried Sassoon was convalescing at another country house down the road in Nutley at the same time. Mad Jack himself, old Siegfried. Here we go. So now I've got my Agrax Earthshade out, and so basically I'm just going to wash this little barrel wagging thing in Agrax, and then I'll dry brush this tomorrow at some point in some kind of khaki or something, or a greyish colour, just to get that old wood colour look on it. That's the plan, at least. This is by far the my favourite bit, because you don't have to be tidy. Just slop it on. Get your brush in there and just go mad with it. Right. That's that Agraxed. Just make sure I've got everything. Anyone else backed Bad Squiddo's Russians? No, I was watching a live stream this morning. I haven't backed any. Simply because she doesn't do them in 15mm. If she did, I'd be all over them. I've got no use for 28mm World War II figures, but they're lovely. They're really, really nice. And it's good to see the female representation as well within the hobby and on the battlefield. There you go, Craig's here. How are you doing, Craig? Have you not got anything better to be doing than watching somebody painting figures on a Sunday night? I'm assuming not, because otherwise you wouldn't be here. Right, what was the next thing I was going to do? Oh yeah, I was going to start painting this horse next. And then, to be honest, I might leave it at that. I'm not sure though. For tonight, anyway. Craig, going to use them with your 28mm Warlord plastics. Yeah, I think they'll fit in really well with those. They're very, very nice figures. Like I say, if I had a use for 28mm Second World War figures, then I would be buying some. You could be working, Craig, given the offer. Working on a Sunday night. Madness. That's what happens when you're a teacher, though. Right. So I'm just going to block paint this horse first of all. This is the first part of it. I'll do all the shading and stuff later. As you can see, I'm a pretty messy painter, but it all comes out in the wash, the Agrax wash, or at least I hope it does. And if not, there's still the 3-foot rule, where it doesn't really matter. If you can't see it from 3 foot away, you can't see it. That's the bottom line. So, Kevin, I had a look at them. Bad Squiddo, but cannot get back anymore as my big Kickstarter has still not here yet. Missy says so. I might get some when I see them at a show. It's just a token. Yeah, I suppose I could. I probably should just buy a couple just to paint. So they're really nice figures. But yeah, I wouldn't mind some 15mm. I did ask Annie once on Twitter if she was ever going to make any 15mm, or when she was going to make 15mm figures. She said never. So unfortunately, I don't think it's ever going to happen. I'll tell you what I do want is somebody to make 15mm plastic Napoleonics. I don't know why nobody's ever done that. There's plenty of 15mm plastic Second World War, but you would have thought somebody were latched onto 15mm plastic Napoleonics in 15mm at this point. I suppose, as we're saying, everybody does things in 28mm these days, apart from people like me. Okay. Right. I think we're just on 9 o'clock. So I think I'm going to leave it at that tonight. We'll probably wind down, watch some more Brooklyn Nine-Nine before Betty buys and work tomorrow. The dreaded work. But thanks for everybody for tuning in. It's been a fun one. Again, as before, if you haven't already subscribed, do subscribe. You'll get notifications that these things are happening. I'm probably doing some more of these over the week at various points. I shall put it on my Twitter and on the Facebook for Storm of Steel, so at least you'll know, or on Instagram as well. Just check those places out. And yeah, cheers, thanks, good night everybody, and stay safe and keep painting.